I'm Eric Parker. This morning on CT21, from investigating Facebook to building back better to looking toward the end of his current term and whether he's thinking about running again, U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal is taking our questions today in Studio A. And it's an off-year election, but there are ballots still to be cast to decide who will run Connecticut's cities and towns. So what's the plan for election 2021? Secretary of the State Denise Merrill is also in the House. And people just love the Whalers. The team that left Connecticut way back in 1997 still has a hold on our state. The author of a brand new book on the hockey franchise is joining us. It's all ahead this Sunday, October 17th. CT21 starts right now.
From Channel 3, this is Connecticut's most watched current affairs program, CT21, with Eric Parker. Sponsored by Hartford Healthcare.
Good morning, and thank you for being with us. There is a lot happening in Washington right now. Hearings on how social media is causing harm on multiple levels, deal-making on infrastructure, subpoenas going out from the January 6th Commission. Here to discuss all of that and some other things, like maybe Saturday Night Live and Reelection, is Connecticut's senior senator, Richard Blumenthal. Senator, thank you so much for being with us. You were very much in the news because of these Facebook hearings. The whistleblower spoke out, and then there were hearings on Capitol Hill. It sort of harkens back to your Attorney General days, that type of questioning. What did you make of that whole whistleblower and what we learned from her?
You know, speaking about Attorney General days, as I said at the time of this hearing, big tech is facing a big tobacco moment. I brought a lawsuit, helped to lead other states in a lawsuit against big tobacco, which disclosed files, their own research and studies showing how much harm they were doing to kids particularly. In that case, it was nicotine and tobacco causing cancer. In this case, it was big tech knowing about the harmful effects of destructive content driven to children, about eating disorders, personal injury, and online bullying. They know it, they hid it, they made money from it, and once they knew about it, they made even more money from it. And that's what has so outraged parents, I have found, as I go around the state of Connecticut, that their kids are at risk, and Facebook, Instagram, big tech is exploiting their kids, putting their profits ahead of children.
It's a tough subject, though, because, of course, you run up against freedom of speech issues, and it's a private company doing private things. So how do you do that balancing act from a regulatory standpoint where, like you said, according to this whistleblower, they knew there was harm being done and they did it anyway, but there is, of course, that free speech consideration.
You know, kids looking at themselves in the mirror, particularly girls, have bad feelings about their self-image. They're sometimes driven to content about eating disorders. I think Mark Zuckerberg should look at himself in the mirror. And my hope is still Facebook will do the right thing on its own, so we avoid any excess government regulation. But the fact of the matter is Facebook has lost trust because it has demonstrated again and again it's all about platitudes and bromides, not real solutions. And so here's the answer to your question. More privacy. Make sure that data is protected. Obviously, big tech collects reams of data. You're the product. You, the consumer, are the way it makes money by multiplying the eyes that watch its content, which in turn multiplies the advertisers and multiplies the profits. And second, more safety for kids, more tools for parents to protect their kids. Open the black box, the algorithms that drive that content, more transparency. And finally, legal accountability. Right now, Facebook has an immunity, like all big tech companies, from any legal responsibility. Literally, you can't sue Facebook because of a law in the Communications Decency Act that says it has a shield against any kind of legal accountability. So those kinds of reforms don't raise government censorship, they don't raise excess government regulation.
It's a very serious topic, and I don't want to turn to a joke about it, but you were portrayed this past week on Saturday Night Live a week ago. We've known each other for 20 years, and I don't think you'd be on my list of people I thought would be on Saturday Night Live. We have that clip. I just want to take a quick look.
Once again, I would like to thank the Facebook whistleblower for coming forward.
Thank you. It's nice to be in an office with no skateboards.
Now, my colleagues are eager to ask you questions about the inner workings of Facebook and Instagram. The chair recognizes Senator Feinstein of California.
Obviously, they were looking for a laugh there, but I guess it speaks to the enormity of the topic that you ended up on there. What was your reaction hearing about that?
You know, I think I lucked out. I appeared pretty sane compared to some of my colleagues. Of course, it's not a high bar, but no, I think it is a serious topic, and we need to take it seriously. At the same time, you know, humor never hurts.
You have done a lot on the Afghan refugee issue. Tell me about some of your efforts with that.
This experience was about as emotional as any I've had as a United States Senator, because we worked with veterans organizations, you know, men and women who served in Afghanistan and who used the Afghan interpreters, translators, guards, drivers, and they, along with humanitarian organizations, relief groups, wanted to bring those Afghan allies out of Afghanistan because, in effect, we made a promise. We'll prevent you from being tortured and murdered by the Taliban or whoever might take over. And we worked day and night for 6 to 8 weeks to enable 2 planes, 800 Afghan allies and Americans, to get out of that country from Mazar-e-Sharif, not Kabul, on private planes, not government airlifts. And finally, we were able to do it through this coalition of groups, but it took work with our State Department, with the Qataris, the Qatar government, the Albanian government, the Uzbekistan government. It was really a matter of life or death for a lot of these folks because they put their lives on the line, they put their families at risk, and now they have targets on their backs.
We have about a minute and a half left. I want to just run through a couple other important topics with you. Last time you were here, we talked about infrastructure. Are you still hopeful that the bill you support will make it through?
I am very hopeful. It's not just a matter of roads and bridges or ports and airports. It's the people who use them. They need daycare so they can go to work. They need expanded health care so they're able to perform those jobs and the skills to use them. So I think really it is a matter of failure is not an option. We have to get it done. We can't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
The January 6th Commission has put out subpoenas. Some of the former president's folks have said they're not going to comply. Do you think that commission will get anywhere?
They have to issue those subpoenas. They have to enforce them. I know something about enforcing subpoenas, having been an attorney general of our state. And I hope they will get to the bottom of what happened on January 6th. And I will tell you, our Judiciary Committee in the Senate put out a report about what the then President Trump did to try to overthrow the Georgia and Arizona elections. It is graphic, and I think those individuals who have been subpoenaed will have a lot of information that the American people ought to see.
I want to play one quick clip for you. Senator Lindsey Graham was on Hannity this past week, and he mentioned Connecticut. Take a look.
We had 40,000 Brazilians come through the Yuma sector alone, headed for Connecticut, wearing designer clothes and Gucci bags. This is not economic migration anymore. People see an open America. They've taken advantage of us, and it won't be long before a terrorist gets in this crowd. This
was after Senator Graham had visited the border. Have you heard anything about 40,000 Brazilians with Gucci bags headed to Connecticut, Senator?
You know, I have a lot of classified intelligence briefings. I've heard nothing about 40,000 people from wherever coming with Gucci bags. So I'm not revealing any classified secrets, but I'd be very surprised if there were people coming that way.
Just one last thing, your term's almost up. Have you decided yet if you'll be running for another?
I haven't made any formal announcement. I'm just doing my job, fighting for the people of Connecticut. I would not be surprised to see my name on the ballot in 2022, and certainly I hope that Connecticut will continue to support me and hire me for another job if I am a candidate. But I love my job and I hope to continue doing it.
Well, if you won't be surprised, I don't think anyone else should be surprised. Senator Richard Blumenthal, thank you for coming in. Second time in studio. One more time, you get a free cheese pizza.
Thank you. I'll be back.
Thank you very much. Senator Richard Blumenthal, appreciate it. Later in our Sunday Spotlight, the Whalers, Connecticut's only professional NHL team, left us 24 years ago. Can you believe it's been that long? There's a new book that explores the fate of the team. It was just released on Friday. We'll be talking with the author coming up next. And Also next, Election Day. Secretary of State Denise Merrill will join us in Studio A. Stay with us. CT21 is coming right back.